Hello, my brothers and Western, and welcome to another Cinema Saturday. This week I watched Silver Bullet, which is based on a novella, Cycle of the Werewolf, written by Stephen King. Alright, so, start things off. There's this guy just walking down a little railway or something, and then a monster just comes out and straight up kills him. And that's how they decide to open up this movie, just a random guy getting killed. And so, the next day, everyone's all happy and everything because it's springtime, time to do our celebration or whatever. So they all do that. But later on that night, there's this girl who decides that she's going to kill herself because her baby daddy don't want to be her baby daddy no more. And so she's like, I don't give a shit if I go to hell, I'm going to kill myself and this baby. So she starts taking these pills and everything. And then this monster that killed the guy earlier busts into her room, starts slashing her up and everything, making a real mess, and ends up killing her. Then we transition over to our main characters, which is this young teen girl and her little brother who's in a wheelchair. Now, Wheelchair Boy is all like, yay, Uncle Gary Busey's coming to town. And the girl's all like, Uncle Gary Busey is coming to town. But she doesn't like him all that much. And if you're wondering, I call this character Uncle Gary Busey because one, it's the kid's uncle, and two, it's basically Gary Busey playing himself. At least that's what I get out of it. So that's why, throughout this entire thing, I'm just going to call him Uncle Gary Busey. So, that night, off in some other part of the town, there's this drunk, white trash redneck guy just drinking, watching TV, and he hears something going outside his house. So, he grabs his gun, goes outside, and he ends up getting killed. A little while later, the Wheelchair Boy's best friend is out flying a kite and everything, and nighttime comes, and apparently he's still flying his kite, and the monster comes along, kills him too. Now, when I was watching this, I was like, I don't give a shit that this kid died. I mean, if you go back to earlier in the film, when you first see this kid, he's a fucking dick. So I don't care that this kid got killed. I'm actually happy that he's dead, you know? Now, after all of these murders take place, the Wheelchair Boy is like, man, is this a werewolf or something? Because he has a big imagination and whatnot, because he's a kid. After the dead boy's funeral, all the townsfolk are in a bar and everything, discussing how they're going to go out, they're going to find who or what is killing everybody, and they're going to kill it. And the sheriff comes in and is like, no you ain't, motherfuckers, shut the fuck down. Then the dead boy's father comes along and says, hey, sheriff, shut the fuck up, we're doing this. And the sheriff's all like, oh, okay. So they all get up, they go out, go into the woods and everything. Then this one group going through, all this fog starts to come in. Then the monster comes and finds them and starts taking people down, man. And then end up killing 3 people. And so, since 7 people now have been killed by whatever this is, they decide they're going to shut down their fair and their fireworks show. Now, the little boy's all like, oh no! They shut down the fireworks! No! And Uncle Gary Busey is like, hey, it's okay. I brought you some fireworks, because I'm Gary Busey. So the kids are like, yay! So later on that night, the kid sneaks out of the house, gets on his brand new motorized wheelchair, zooms off down to the river, and starts lighting off these fireworks and having a grand old time. But then the monster starts coming out and starts charging at him. And the kids are all like, oh shit! So he takes this rocket that he has, lights it, and points it at the monster, who is going to tell you now, it's a werewolf, and just launches this rocket at the werewolf. Nails him right in the eye. So while the werewolf's all going, ah, there's a rocket in the eye! I don't know why he has an accent like that, just because I wanted to. He's like, ah, rocket! The kid, well, he's already on his wheelchair, but he just zooms off and gets home, gets into bed. So the next day, the Wheelchair Boy tells his sister about this encounter that he had with the werewolf. And she's all like, I shouldn't believe you. I really shouldn't, because this doesn't make sense. But I do. So she goes out, she looks through the townspeople, trying to find people with only one eye, who previously had 2. And it takes her a while, but she finally finds out who it is. I'm not going to say who it is, because when you watch the movie, it becomes obvious. And I'll get to that later. So they find out who it is, but then the kid's off sitting in his wheelchair watching some kids play baseball because he's like, oh, I don't have legs. You know, that whole cliche bullshit. And so he's going home, and then the werewolf, in human form of course, is in his car and he starts chasing after the boy and trying to run him over and everything. Ends up getting him cornered in this old bridge. And he's about to kill the kid when someone else starts coming along, and the boy starts screaming for help, so the werewolf hightails it out of there. So the kids tell Uncle Gary Busey about this, and he doesn't quite believe it, but he decides he's going to go tell the sheriff. So he goes to the sheriff's office, tells him, hey, can you check this person out for me, just in case? The sheriff's all like, yeah, I can do that. So the sheriff goes, he's scooping around the guy's place and everything, and the guy comes along, turns into the werewolf, and kills him. Now, the next night or so, whatever it is, because full moon's out, Uncle Gary Busey and the kids are sitting at home while the kids' parents are away, just waiting for the werewolf to come along so they can kill it. Because they know it's going to try and come and kill the boy, because, you know, the rocket in the eye kind of thing. You'd want revenge too, wouldn't you? So, they're waiting, and Uncle Gary Busey is like, you know what? Screw this. This is all bullshit. I don't know why I believed you kids in the first place. And, of course, this is right about the time when the werewolf busts into the room. Uncle Gary Busey and the werewolf start having a fight. And then the kid ends up getting the gun and the silver bullet they made and shoots the werewolf in the other eye. So now, even if this werewolf somehow survived this attack, he'd be fucking blind now. But yeah, the werewolf is dead, and it's all happy ending. And then they're all cuddling, and the boy says, I think there's something wrong with my legs. And Saoirse's like, what is it? Then the boy's like, I don't think I can walk. And it's like, oh. And I'm sitting here like, seriously, kid, what the fuck? I mean, yeah, I understand you wanted to go for a joke, try and lighten the mood. I mean, you just killed a person, for God's sakes. So you want to try to make it a little lighthearted. Do something better than that, kid. And that is Silver Bullet. Now, like I said earlier, this is based off of something by Stephen King. So automatically, there's a giant chance that I'm going to like this movie. And I do like this movie. There are just some parts that they irk me. And I don't use that word lightly, irk. So, here are the problems that I had with the movie. Number one, some of the lines in the dialogue was just wrong. Some of it was way too cheesy. Some of it was just unbelievable. And then some of it was just downright stupid. Like, take for instance that line at the end. That was a stupid, cheesy line right there. It's just bad. Just bad line. Number two, there was particularly one scene when they're off trying to find the monster in the fog, and the monster comes up and gets one of the guys. Well, when the body comes back out of the fog, it's obviously, way too obviously, a prop or something, because it looks absolutely nothing like the guy, or anything human at all. I mean, yeah, it has the whole facial features and everything, but otherwise, it's obviously a doll or something. I mean, I understand, this movie was released in 1985, so I understand, the special effects weren't all that great back then, but I'm pretty sure you can put a little more effort into it. I mean, look at what you did for the werewolf itself. That was actually decent for that time. Do something better for this guy that gets killed, okay? And number three, the werewolf's identity was way too obvious to, determine. I mean, there's one scene where they hint at it a little bit, like, oh, it could be this guy, because look at how he's reacting. But then, like, 2 scenes later, you just see this guy, and it's just way too obvious. I mean, it's basically the filmmakers telling the audience, saying, hey, pay attention. You see this guy? See this guy right here? Yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy. Yeah, if you want a good movie, you don't ruin the suspense like that and putting a scene like that in. I'm pretty sure that scene was in the novella. but I don't care. No, it's just bad. That's just bad, bad, bad. So, because of all those things, I only give this movie a 3 out of 5 stars. What would you guys give this movie? Comment down below. Also, leave a suggestion for what I should watch next week. Remember, the theme is horror or thriller because, you know, it's the month of Halloween. So, that's about it for this week. I'll see you guys next week. Alright, bye guys.